Hello, trading is closed on the 16th of January 2024. We always do our disclaimer first. We'll go over our calls and then we'll make some predictions. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, which is January 17th, 2024. Please remember I can be wrong. Any trades will be made at your own risk. Also, for this next month, I have a lot of personal business. I won't have as much time to do my analysis, and I may not be risking any of my own money. Call for the pattern with the early high, which is this, and tomorrow's pattern should have the early low. We said that this was a negative pattern, and unless we gapped up smartly, we should see lower prices, which we did. We said if we gapped up, we have resistance at the old high, but of course we didn't gap up, we gapped down. This is a reminder of what we said. This should be in black, because that means it's not an active pattern. I'm just reviewing what we called for today. This was a price target which was supposed to print on Friday to be within its preferred time frame, 47.61.34. We did say that everything could be delayed for a day. I still counted it as printing late, but at least it printed, so it's crossed off the list. During the day in the morning, MEJT said ultimately a higher price it would print. It did. Said this rally wouldn't stick. It did. And said this drop wouldn't stick, and that didn't either. Well, there are a number of things calling for a high in this area, which so far isn't killed, but isn't acting the way I would like it to act. Let's just go over them. The 12th was a possible change in trend date, as I said. If there is a change in trend, it tends to occur on or near these dates. But just because you have a date doesn't mean you'll have a change in trend. This was our rising wedge. We take the time of the apex, and that was Friday's high, so it's a reasonable time for the top. If this is the right interpretation, we should drop into the 4500s, around 4500. This just isn't collapsing the way it really should if that was going to happen. It's just overlapping. There is a count which can explain it, but it really is pretty much dependent upon a big drop at tomorrow's open. I mean, here's a count. I mean, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. You can count this as A and this as B. And then you could have a wave C down, but it still just isn't the type of strong, forceful move down I would expect to see if we were going to drop into the 4500s. Now, of course, that can change. But so far, this is acting like we're going to consolidate and break higher, so it's not the kind of thing where I would tend to risk money on it yet. Wednesday's pattern is really low regardless of where we open. Typically it's a rally day with a high in the final hour, but if it's weak instead, we should see more weakness in days to come. Now we gap down, hit a lower low, and close over intraday lows, and if that's maintained at the open, that's a bullish pattern to go along with a day that's typically a bullish day, and that should take us higher regardless of where we close. But if we gap down smartly, that kills the pattern. We have a change in trend time on the 12th, the peak at the apex of the rising wedge, and the possible wave count. I'll make a gap down possible. That should say gap, not gap. So we can still get a drop if we are weak early. But if we don't, this is a bullish pattern and should take us higher. So we'll have to see if we get the early weakness or if we have a rally. And that's today's call.